Hello and welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons. We started the game. Anyway, last time the team had finally had a break after like a long time. I mean, they did manage to get a break at Jamie's house, but it was kind of, still stuff kind of going on around them. But we could finally like sit in a tavern and just chill out. Yeah. After that, they decided to go a little shopping. And that's basically where we left them. Let me just quickly mute one of these so I'm not doubling up on my audio. Perfect. Yeah. Just left the apothecaries after picking up some additional ingredients. Everyone's been, one person in particular has been a little hesitant to head in a particular direction in the city, and everyone else is, trying not to use the P word. The potion shop.
Oh. What?
Yeah. But yeah. What are you guys up to now? What's the plan?
Well,
More buying stuff. Your silver cage isn't going to be ready until the end of the day. You also heard a bunch of rumors as you were walking through. Well, not necessarily rumors. I guess it is technically overheard rumors that the college has been ordering in a lot more reagents and materials for magic than they previously had been. A lot of people were mistaking your clockwork friend for the clockwork that is in the castle currently. They don't know his name. They just have heard rumors about him as well. Yeah. That's where we're at.
I'm done in town for now. If you guys are.
I had an idea, but it seems silly, and I don't want to hold us up because there's like a war on and stuff.
We need to talk to you about the war stuff, don't we?
Maybe? I assume it's like people with stuff versus people without stuff. That's usually how the books used to say about it.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, in this case, the people without stuff seem hell-bent on fighting the people with stuff, which is not great.
Okay.
But we think it's being influenced by somebody who wants that to happen.
I don't know how useful it would be, but imagine if, because you have a bag and lots of stuff fits in it, like lots of stuff. More than should ever fit in that bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, imagine if my book could do that, so I could draw many more pictures than it could supposedly hold, and then like I could use it like the bag but for pictures. So I could draw like maps or like knowledge on the piece of paper, and then we would have it and it would be useful. But maybe
Cool concept.
I wondered if
I like the
someone could
idea.
make one.
I mean, if you're looking for something like that, here's the best place to look.
Yes, there's not really much magic outside of Storm Sledge.
Oh, okay. It was only if it wouldn't take too much time. I didn't want to be in the way.
Well, we're going to be here until John's cage is done, so maybe we could have a look around and look into that. I'm not
Ages,
sure.
John. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, John's cage is John.
Until Dunn's cage is June.
Yes.
Seriously, obviously.
Jun rolls his
Almost.
eyes at the DM.
Well, it is the I am now a character in the now, so the clockwork is
Everybody looks up at the smiling face of the DM, just nods.
Like roll a perception check to see said table full of people and
Oh god,
snacks
yeah.
and small rocks, and like you have an existential crisis and take 20 psychic damage. I've had that happen before.
Only 20? That's
yeah,
wild.
that's crazy.
We were low level.
Ah, okay.
So it killed
So
you. I
they
see.
nat 20 insight checked the DM for shenanigans. It was great. Never again.
Well. Anyway,
Yes, if you wanted to make
y'all-
that happen, here is the right place to have a look around.
Have y'all told Everil that there's some like magic shenanigans going on?
I don't think it has ever been explained exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, fair. So then
Um,
I can't be helpful in that manner. Then no worries.
Yeah, there is.
I don't want to metagame anyway, but
Yeah, I know that you
But
probably would have overheard a specific conversation about how the clockworks in this area are being charged by pulling magic out of people, and it was recently, at least I'm not sure if it was last session or the session before, it was recently discussed how everyone else in this side of the country are poor magicless bastards who can't even use like magical items that grant them spells. But this specific city has a bunch of innately magical people, more magical than others, which seems to have prevented them from losing their magic.
like they happen to be on the ley line or whatever kind of shit.
More like their heritage is more magical. So
Right.
the people who just have the spark of magic within them, like humans and halflings and regular old dwarves, their magic was stripped away from them by this, completely leaving them magically inert. But in the city, there is a bunch of dark dwarves, which are innately more magical. They have a lot more magical resistance. They've got more juice to them. So the stuff that's being siphoned off of them isn't impacting their magical ability. Same with a bunch of half dragons, a bunch of elves and half elves as well.
And that's how
Yeah.
it was like intended, right? By the people who made it? Because
Well, so the people who made
they
it,
had more magic than normal humans do.
yes, exactly. They were perfectly fine with having their magic siphoned away.
They had enough for it to be fine for them. It's not like the races who have less inherently have more to lose, essentially.
Exactly. And it was more like an overtime thing, right? So even you, Varys, you haven't, even though you've been here a while, been through these cities, you haven't lost your magical ability. You haven't even really noticed that it's been being siphoned off of you. But you imagine that if you lived here for a longer period or had children here, that they would not have magic, and you would eventually lose your magic. And that seems to have been what happened, is that after a long period of propagating in this region, they just stopped having magical offspring, basically. Yeah. So everyone will know that what they mean by this is that this is the only city you can really get magic stuff.
Yeah. So, what kind of person do you think would even know how to help? Is it like a bag maker or a book maker, or like who?
Surely someone who makes magical items.
Yes,
and do a bit of everything.
Magical item maker, maybe at the college as well. Also, we do have Zupemo, although I think he's probably running up against the line of the amount of things that he's having to work on.
The clockwork will say, "You're looking for a book of holding, right? Essentially."
I thought it might be fun.
Well, I think if there's anywhere that would have a book that's like infinite, it would be a bunch of nerds like in the college, right?
A bunch
Fucking
of nerds.
Nerds.
Really
Uh,
interesting. You do really talk like us. That's really
a nerd lab.
Hey, how much of you wants to bully nerds?
I don't want to bully nerds at all.
Okay, good.
There's none of me and you then.
I don't know if that's like
What's wrong
a
with
culmination of things.
nerds? What's wrong with them?
Oh, they're just little dweebs, you know. You're just easy to push around.
They think they're smarter than you.
You
Yeah,
try
that
to
too.
push people if they're smarter than you?
No. Only if they think
Everyone
that they're
takes like a
smarter than you.
slightly wider stance underneath their robes.
Only if they think that they're smarter than you. If they're actually smarter than you, that's probably not the best course of action, to be honest.
What if they know they're smarter than you and they use magic? Does that make me a nerd?
How smart are you?
I mean, you know, I haven't like checked.
Is there a test you could
Most
take?
people make me feel stupid because I don't know the stuff here. Like the language and the words good.
There's a difference between knowing lots of things and being smart.
Yeah. And those people in that castle are all nerds because all they do is read books all day.
And they know lots of things.
But they haven't used it at all. So let's go in there and steal their books.
No, we don't. No.
You read books.
Absolutely not.
maybe.
Look, we are in good standing with that place. We can just ask them. We don't have to steal things.
Oh, okay. Let's go
Yeah.
ask them for books.
Stealing with kindness. Alright.
It does sound like maybe it's worth checking out anyway. We did hear some weird things about it earlier.
We heard some weird stuff. I think we also heard that Nemi's probably around there as well. So if anybody's going to be in the know, she probably would.
Okay.
Onward then.
Jin's just going with what you say because he doesn't really remember this place super well. He wasn't here for very long.
It was kind of an in and out.
We did kind of take off afterwards, didn't we?
Yeah. Cool. Alright. Well, you get in formation and head back through the city to get back into the college. Anything you wanna look out for, or anything you're doing while you're walking?
I think Jin's gonna keep an ear out for any more of this gossip.
I
Alright.
think Paris is just keeping an eye out for anybody that might be looking at them. I know that we draw attention anyway, but anything more than ordinary.
Fair enough. Well, perception from you, Varus, and investigation from you, Jin.
Okay. Because we all know Jin is so intelligent. Oh,
Hey!
Oh! Super
that's the
intelligent.
nat 20 I needed last week.
All right. Well, keeping an eye out, Varus. Yeah, you're making sure you're not being tailed by anyone.
Yeah.
You're not for any trouble.
Also getting used to the new eye.
Yes, very much indeed. You notice walking along, that your eye is picking up some of the that would have been invisible, not like invisibility cast or anything like that on them, but invisible as in over time disappeared runes that are placed along the roads, that seem to be in charge of the lighting system, so that they were placed in here when it was probably first built, that gives it all of the little lights that line the streets. I should have really explained this to Avril. That this city's entirely underground. So you would say there's a big metal dome that covers the whole thing, that you can only barely see the edges of when you look up. Otherwise, it's just completely black up there. But along the streets, there are small lamps inset into the ground, that line every street, even some alleyways, that are different colors based on the different times. So it's about midday-ish, so they're nice bright orange colors, keeping the, well, not just orange. There's a mix of different colors in there to try and emulate that sort of time of day. And you've noticed as you've been moving through the city that they ever so lightly change. Varys is noticing now that his magical eye is letting him see stuff, seeing the magic that's at work here. Can see the runes that are in place that control these lights, control these systems around him, that sort of move ever so slowly, probably in tune with the time system that they're trying to keep. Very similar to the mechanism of the astrolabe that was keeping the clock ticking up in the high tower of the castle, which everyone doesn't know about. We won't go into that just yet. But you see that.
Cool.
Which is another cool feature of your eye. You're realizing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And for Jun, keeping an ear out, trying to listen in to as many conversations as possible on your way over. You hear that everything you heard before, colleges bringing in more and more materials for magical goods, for magical performance. So, dusts and powders and diamonds and jewels, expensive equipment required for casting of many a different spell, but as well as writing equipment, books and inks, and a bunch of school supplies, and that also the student body is seemingly being accelerated. That they are being encouraged to tackle more and more powerful spells, to learn, to do things faster than they were before. You hear that it may be due to the new headmaster, as the previous one was kind of being impersonated and had died.
Yeah, which could also explain the slowdown in what they were ordering prior to this as well.
Yes, but it sounds like the person who has taken over.
She was the one that just decided to take some artifacts from the old headmaster's room, right?
Yes, Katri.
Okay.
So she is a sapphire part dragon. You've had many run-ins with her. She was very helpful in dealing with the incident. And has took up headmastership after the death of Domron, who was, as it turns out, was a dragon in disguise, who got mega deaded when he attempted to contact Null by himself, which was like the whole reason you guys gathered together at Jamie's house with a bunch of other people to contact Null for.
Safety in numbers.
Yeah.
And power.
Exactly. But yes, that's what you hear. Is that Katri has been making a lot of moves to increase the amount of work that's being done, the amount of learning that is happening, and has been allowing in a lot more of the deep dwarves. That is something that has been that seems to have been criticized a lot, that they are being included a lot more. There's a little bit of conflict there between the half dragons and the dwarven population. That's seemingly is being tried to be smoothed out by allowing the dwarves more dwarves into the college. At least that's what you're hearing.
That is good to hear, considering how things were.
Yes.
So what was Carteret's surname?
She doesn't have one.
Okay.
A lot of the dragons, a lot of the part dragons don't have a surname. Not
Like
because they.
Madonna.
Yeah, it's not because they don't. It's not because they don't necessarily could have one, or that they don't have like a family name that they probably herald back to. It's more like to keep their like draconic air about them. They keep like not having a name and try to get titles like the Destroyer or things like that.
Oh, their share. Got it. Or Prince.
Yeah.
Do
The dragon formerly known as.
Dragon formerly known as Prince.
do I get the sense that there's some kind of end game here other than just running the school well?
There's a lot of conjecture about why, of course. That's obviously part of the conversation. They think specifically with the inclusion of the appearance of you guys, as well as the clockwork that's been seen in the castle, that there's been more and more worries about being found, the cities being found by the outer cities, that they'll be re-sparked conflict between them, that maybe it's like it's like a progressive move to like include more, to be more inclusive, things like that. A bunch of naysayers who think that it should just go back to the way that it was. people complaining that Domron had it down for years. It should be fine. Yeah. But it does seem like more and more people are thinking that it's about them preparing to protect the border. That seems to be the higher percentage of people believe that.
Okay. Well, Jun is gonna test these theories as they go to the university.
All right.
As best he can.
Cool. Anybody else? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
That mean Ailey always likes to go shopping.
Yeah. Do you want to cut off from the team to go shopping, or follow in their lead, or?
Well, it depends how many others are splitting off.
So no one's really
going to the university. Then Ailey will go, but if otherwise, but they might get distracted.
True.
Along the way.
That's a good point. Roll a perception check for me, Haley.
Perception? What's that?
That's the problem.
Whoa, there it is.
Perception? What's that?
Cool, perfect. That's great. Actually, you wanted a low roll because it means you don't spot anything that piques your interest, and you continue to follow the group. Yeah. So you make it to the entrance to the college. The last time you guys were here, other than when you just left, you remember there being guards posted at the gate, and that they would, block people from entering. Currently, you see a guard, but they just seem to be more keeping an eye on things and not actually stopping anybody. It seems now that there's entirely free entry and exit to the college. So you enter in through the gate onto the main campus, and you see just a horde of kids to some of your eyes. Some like early teens all the way up to middle-aged people are out here studying, reading books, practicing spells. You see frostbolts and firebolts hitting wooden dummies and other things about. It seems like a lot of previously laid down rules for spell casting on the grounds has been lifted. So there's a lot more of that going on around you. Nothing particularly dangerous, of course. No high-level spells or anything like that. It seems like a lot of cantrip practicing, a lot of targeted spells practicing, stuff that can be contained and controlled well, is being utilized on the grounds. There's a couple of people performing small rituals as well, things like that. Can I get some perception checks from anyone who's taken a real good look around?
Ailey always is, but
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone's busy being very overwhelmed and tugging on the nearest sleeve to go, I've never been in a real school before.
Ailey probably saw something dumb and shiny.
Well, out of 2, you're not really seeing a lot. Up to a 7. On a 7, you're not seeing a whole lot. You are amazed at what you are seeing. same with Ailey. You know, you've never been a magically inclined person before. You never really casted a spell, but it does look really cool when a bunch of people are doing it. Varys, Jun, and Thrykus, you spot a sort of, for lack of a better term, a hippie circle going on.
That's probably what Ailey's staring at then. And
Yeah, so
anything else.
probably seeing that. As you see a group of a large group of older teenagers sitting in a circle around a green tiefling and a young satyr, as you know to be Einen and Nemi.
Oh, that's your friend there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hi. What you doing?
So they're off in the distance. So you calling out to them is really not going to help with a lot of the magic and spells that are being cast around you. But you can see that I always want to say Einen, but I think it was Einen. The green tiefling that you guys had seen, that you had brought here, they had completely lost his memory. You see him sort of move to the center of this circle and perform a wild shape, much to the amazement of many of the other magical casters here, who are quite amazed by this feat of magical ability, mainly because polymorph is quite a high level spell, and also they've never seen an animal like what he has seen, because they've all lived underground for so long. So him turning into a horse in front of them amazes them quite greatly, and does a fanciful little prance, and then transforms back into his green tiefling self. Takes a little bow, gets a lot of claps and applause.
I would like to nudge Jun. To like, if they're impressed by that, wait till they see what you can do.
I think what I can do is none of their business.
Oh. I wonder if I can do cool stuff that would make them say wow.
I think
We
so.
could do the fire thing.
We could do the fire thing. Quick,
Maybe not in
Haley!
the.
No, too slow. They're gonna be doing it.
Add a target.
No, don't burn the books.
No, not the
No.
books. Just clarifying that everyone else is eating at targets and everyone has noticed at least vaguely enough with that terrible perception
Versus
roll.
Ailey's just like generally that direction of the people.
I mean, then because you know that I'll catch it, so that makes reasonable sense. Or whether you know I'll catch it or not.
Yeah, like, she's just guessing.
Yep.
Yeah. I would like to do the belch throw, please, DM.
Yep. So Ailey spurts forth a column of fire in the general direction of the circle, that a lot of people make small squeals about, as magic was definitely on the itinerary, but breath weapons, yeah, not necessarily. But performing your control flames on it before it hurts anybody. What do you turn it into? What do you do with it?
I want to yeet it at a target, like the same as the kids have been doing.
Okay, so just a just to, turn it
Well,
into a stream
okay.
and slam it into a target, or?
Speaking as someone who desperately needs to fit in with people their own age,
Mhm.
that is exactly what I've noticed that they're doing, so I'm doing it but slightly one-upping them because I'm cool, but I'm not too cool, Like, this is
Okay.
calculated.
Right.
This is that charisma score coming into play.
Yep. So yeah, you perform your control flames and direct it into a target that just gets completely obliterated by your level of spellcasting. Everyone who was initially shocked by the breath weapon, lets out a sigh of relief, and then notices what's happened, and there's some look of amazement, a lot of look of shock. No clapping or any crazy things like that.
Well, I got their attention.
You sure did. And you see Nemi and Enon do notice you guys now.
And
look
then
up and
Ailey does the like frantic waving.
yep. Nemi gives you a nice big wave. Enon's a little bit more reserved with a small wave.
Gives like very bashful wave back, is probably very red from blowing up something that I did not intend to blow up.
Yep. You notice that there's a quiet there for a moment. There's a quiet from this set of events, and then suddenly everyone goes back to practicing their spells. So, what are you guys doing?
Head over towards Nimi and Ina.
Cool.
I think Jun's mostly observing and, just trying to take note of everything. He's a little bit awkward because he knows that Nemi used to adventure with the party, and he's like, oh, this is the original one. What if they like her better than me?
Oh.
Oh no. Well, you approach, and slowly the circle seems to dissolve as they sort of group off amongst themselves, and some people go off to their other things. And Enon and Nemi come up to you. Hey, how you guys been?
A lot has happened,
Oh yeah, I bet.
but I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Okay. Secret stuff, I see.
No, just I was told not to talk about it
Okay.
because it makes Varys more upset or something.
Oh, I see. Are you okay, Varys? And she comes over and places her hand on your shoulder and gives you a very deep, somber looking, caring look into your one eye that she can see.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
That's a new addition.
Yes, so she's very much like, are you okay? What happened?
Lost my eye to the Queen of Air and Darkness because she offered us help with something.
Oh,
yeah.
I could have told you not to do that.
Well, I mean,
Was it
she
really
asked,
that needed?
and I feel like if I had probed a little bit, I could have found out what was going to be taken. But there was no time. We were not in a good way. We lost somebody very important, and we need to get them back. There's a lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, let me know if there's anything I can do. I have some sway here at the college now. And I can probably get you some supplies or something like that.
Supplies would be cool. Do you know anything about somebody who might be able to help us with a book of holding?
A book of holding.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yes, I understand what you
Gesture
mean.
over to Avril. If you want to explain a bit more. Oh, Avril, this is Nemi. Avril.
Hi.
So you see, well, I'll let the person who came up with the character describe them. John, do you want to describe Nibby for me?
Nemi is a satyr bard. She is buxom. She is a bartender who apparently has become the hippie circle person, which makes total sense. She is very caring and loving and conscientious about, other people's feelings. Yeah, she's short, so probably more Varys height than everyone else height. Yeah, I think that pretty much describes her.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Well, she's has a big grin on her face. She's very happy to meet you, Avril.
Hello.
Hi.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you have people here who could make like a book that can fit more pages in it than it actually has?
I think so. I think I've seen some kids with books like that.
So it's possible to make them?
I think so. I mean, I haven't done it. I'm not really a book person. I'm more of a music person. Where me and Inan here have been teaching the other schools of magic. You know, there's apparently a need for that here. They only teach wizardry and sorcery. Needed some bards and some druids coming out.
Cool. I mean, normally me and paper don't mix, but I figured out some ways around it.
Oh, okay.
So it's easier to show you, but mostly a lot I catch on fire, and that's probably a weird thing to tell someone straight out the gate. But it's
I was with these guys for a while. There's probably not a lot you can do that would be particularly strange to me.
Oh, okay. So I would like to try and make that book, please. Or find someone who could make one for me.
Okay. Well, you guys want to follow me into the castle and we'll see if we can find somebody?
Like nods, and then remembers that nods are not visible on a microphone.
Yes. Okay. Well, and I'll leave you to your class. I'll take these guys in. You see, he agrees and heads off as well. And Nimi leads you guys into the castle. See if I still have a token for Nimi. Should be in here somewhere. Yep. Bop, bop, beep, bop, boop, bop, beep, bop, boop.
Hey, there she is.
The party's getting big.
Yep.
All right. Yep. She leads you through the castle. as she seems to be being regarded as a teacher now. A lot of students are moving out of the way for her as she
Sorry.
leads you.
Yeah, listen.
There is the oddball who's not really paying attention. That's holding a book that is,
Ailey would probably just like walk into.
yeah, and they pick up their papers and are sorry, and continue walking without paying any attention to where they're going.
Classic.
You make it to through the hall, down some corridors, until you see in the middle of the corridors just a bunch of boxes stacked up, and you see there's like a room that's got like an opening that seems like a storefront in the hallway almost, that someone is being handed a box through. There's a student that's carrying handing something in through this window, and there seems to be another robed individual you can't really make out. Is grabbing this box and pulling it through. Yes. Just leave everything else there. I'll get to it when I get to it. You go off to your classes. And the kid nods and walks away. Nimi approaches and says, "Hey, this is supplies, right? I never normally have to come here." And you see that there is a tall, very bearded gentleman that has some grey starting to form at the chest, at the very roots of it is forming grey. The rest of it is a dark brown. He's otherwise entirely bald. Very big robes, very towering even to the tallest of the group, and is. You could barely see the top of his bald head through the window. And he says, Yes, it is. Nimi, is it? You're a new teacher, yes? Yes. I'm looking for, do you call it a book of holding? And he says, yes, oh, right, a book with infinite pages, yes. Yes, I do still have some in stock. Do you need such a thing, or? No, it's for a new student, and, like, she grabs you and pulls you closer.
I'm gonna gather the hint. Like, yeah, I'm new here. Hi, my name's Avril.
Oh, yes, of course. Do you also need some robes? Looks like you've got your own.
These old things will do just while I'm doing my settling in time. Yeah, that's the word. While I get used to the place.
All right, you want to roll a performance check for me?
I mean, I mean
This
that
is
plus
when
8 is
Ailey
coming in
steps
handy.
He's like, "What's that? And what's that? And what's?" And just basically starts to distract them from the fact of what was going on.
Well, deception from you, Ailey. Yes.
And now distracted.
Oh, I see. It's you lot. Well,
That doesn't sound good.
Well, I don't care what
We
it's
got
for.
another one for you.
I don't care what it's for. I'll get you one. Hold on. And you see just complete dejection comes on his face.
How much will it cost?
It's free, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
And he goes behind a shelf, completely disappears into some shelving, and comes back bearing a what seems to be a very thin journal. Puts it down on the other little window, other little shelf window. It says, "Yes, this is normally reserved for students, obviously, but I have been instructed to supply you with some materials if you need." Oh, that's great. Do you guys need anything else?
Ooh.
Anybody?
I mean, do you have a spare silver cage laying around?
Spare? Let me check. And he pulls up an almost identical looking journal from behind the counter, plunks it down, and starts flipping through pages. And you see that there are a lot more pages in this book than the thickness of it. As they just sort of... You don't even really notice where one page begins and one page ends. As they're being flipped, they're sort of... It's like they're rolling... Like a Rolodex, but behind a space you can't see in the book. Until he reaches a spot and rolls his finger down. A silver cage? No, I'm afraid all of those are currently spoken for.
Worth a try.
You're like... You're pretty magic people, right?
Yes, I would say that we are, yes. Was that a hearty laugh?
And you know about, like, magic stuff, right?
Yes.
I picked up something from a place a long time ago, and I didn't really get to ask about it, because the person I got it from couldn't tell me anymore.
Okay.
If I showed you the item, is it safe, or like you're not gonna like take it, right?
No, of course not. I'd never think of it.
Okay. I haven't put it on because I wasn't quite sure what it would do. And I would like to produce a fancy looking crown from among my robes. That is inset with diamonds and rubies and fire opals and other opals.
Well, I'm sure that someone has taken notice.
Like, how did you keep that safe from Ailey? That's amazing.
Jun looks impressed.
Well, they hadn't exactly looked.
And you see him produce from his robes a small monocle. Appears to be enchanted to allow him to cast Identify at will. And he does a quick twist of it and identifies your thing. And goes, "Well, that is quite a treasure you've got there. Well, you can
It was kind of
use...
hard to get.
I imagined it would be, yes. Well, you will need to attune to it, but once you do, you can use any of the gems from it to cast spells of particular types.
Oh,
Pretty high-level spells, in fact.
cool. So I should put it on and get used to it, right?
I would say you should, yes.
Takes off enormous fucking hat, puts crown over the world's worst hat here, and then attempts to kind of very gently lower down hat back over the top of the crown, like might need to wedge it and wiggle it. And, oh, there. Does it fit?
Barely. A little bit tighter than you expected. But of course you haven't yet attuned to it yet. So you know that sort of magical item would make itself comfortable on you.
Yep.
So it will get there, but at the moment, yes, you do feel it kind of digging in on the corners.
Well, that's no uncomfortable that I haven't done before.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what it's called?
It is a
Things have like fancy names.
It is a helm of brilliance.
Thanks. It's been, I guess, burning a hole in my pocket for a while, not wanting to. I needed to find the right person. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's not much of a helmet. It's more of a crown.
People who wear crowns are normally like princesses and stuff, right?
Sometimes.
That make me a princess.
I mean, it is a ginormous crown. Like, it is not a small crown by any. It's not like a circlet or like anything or a tiara or anything. It is like a like those Burger King crowns.
Yeah, I know.
But like actually made of gold and inset with a bunch of gems. So you could call it a helm for sure. Like you can see it. You can if
like re-wrought, so I can use it as like a fancy necklace or something instead.
Yeah, once you've got all the gems out of it, yeah. But yeah, if you look at Everil the right way, now that you know that it's on there, you can see where it's like jutting into the witch's head at the top. Like
Maybe I could get my hat changed.
Sure.
What do they call that with fabric? Where you change it?
Tailoring?
Maybe? I could get some more fabric on it so it wouldn't be quite so obvious.
I feel like I think you've got enough fabric going on there, to be honest.
Are you saying you want a secret pocket for your crown?
Well, scared
Crown
that
pocket.
someone will notice it and try and take it off me. That's why I didn't tell anyone I had it.
I mean, that's
Listen,
smart.
Just
I'm
who had it
genuinely
before me had-
impressed.
He had like so much money, so I figured this is probably worth a lot of money.
Yes,
Probably.
yes, it quite is. In fact, yes.
Do you know how much money? Wait, Ailey, what's that over there?
Well, I would say you wouldn't take any less than 16,000 gold pieces for it.
Good lord.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Hey, Tim, do we need that kind of money?
I don't think so.
We operate in a very specific sphere, and I feel like we should probably be paid for doing that by people, not from selling your items.
Oh, okay.
You could probably make better use of that magic as magic rather than as money.
You
Okay.
never know when you might need it to fight the Black Sun.
So I'll get to know my hat and my sword,
Mhm.
and then I'll
Yes.
be better with them?
Yes, you will get to know the crown in the same way that you got to know the sword.
Okay.
Is there anything else that sort of sticks out that's of interest in this supply shop?
You don't really see a lot of the supplies. A lot of what you see in the front is robes and books. Those are the most commonly requested things here. Quills and ink. Those are things that you can quickly turn around and grab for new students. But based on what you've heard so far, he carries a lot of magical reagents, magical materials. So you can imagine he's got any number of that. He does appear to have a strict regimen on like special items. So it's worth asking if there's something you're looking for.
I think Jin will quietly ask for some more paper and quill and ink, because he started writing a diary to keep track of things.
Sure,
Not that he's told everyone this.
Sure thing. Just paper and quill ink. You don't want a journal as well?
I can have one.
Of course. I've got a couple.
Oh yes, please.
Produces a same looking journal. It has been enchanted the exact same way. Puts it in front of you, and also gives you a self-inking quill.
Does the quill also have an unlimited supply of ink?
Yes.
Oh. I shall never be in need again. At least of this.
I always use the bits out of the fireplace, but I squish them first. That's why my hands look like this. Hold hand up towards Cashier, that like grubby blackened mitts covered in charcoal.
He instinctivly casts prestidigitation on you and cleans your hands.
Just not get hands off the merchandise.
He's like, as you're about to encroach on his space, just clean hands.
Oh. Cool. That should be the next one I learn.
I do highly recommend it.
It would be helpful. We tend to get quite bloody.
Oh. Well, that lady was nice and helped me learn how to do the fancy light thing. Maybe I could learn that one too.
Sure, possibly.
What if I trade you, sir? Like, if I teach one of your students how to do cool stuff, then with fire, then you could teach me how to do the clean hands trick.
This is a school. People could just teach you that. That's what we do. You don't need to exchange. I mean, if you want to teach here at some point, sure, be my guest, but I think you're a little young at this point for that.
I've never been to school before now, so I don't know.
I see. That is unfortunate. Well, yes, they're.
What do you mean? I was busy being alive. I didn't have time to go to school.
I see. Well, it is. There are many teachers here who would happily teach you any spell you want to know.
The clean hands trick, obviously.
Yes.
And then one to make my friends feel better. That would be the biggest one.
I see.
Well, they keep getting they have to drink the ugly stuff to make themselves feel better, and if I could make them feel better, then they wouldn't need to.
Well, I can't say
And then they'll keep me, and then mumbles off into oblivion.
I can't say I know of a spell that is just make person feel better.
Not even when they're all bloody and stuff?
Oh, well, there's healing spells, obviously, but that can only do physical healing. You know, I thought you were talking about, like, the brain stuff.
I don't know about you, but I usually feel better when I'm not bloody and hurting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, all right. Okay,
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
Cure trauma is going to be a high level spell.
Wait.
Yeah, that's a ninth.
Cure light trauma.
That's a ninth level spell.
Alcohol.
Ninth level necromancy spell requires a life sacrifice.
Alcohol and a friend.
It's also a spell that you can't do again for like a week. You gotta roll a
And
d8.
yeah, that friend has to have a
decides.
charisma score of a certain amount and a wisdom score of 20. And that's your therapist.
Spell actually takes like a full casting time of quite a long time.
Several therapy sessions.
It's a ritual casting of an hour time. Jeez. Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyway.
Therapists are magic. Good ones, anyway.
As a bonus action, you can like influence light trauma in your friends.
Oh goodness.
I'm so
So
sorry.
now you need to design this, Scully.
I mean,
Our whole party would be so fucking functional.
isn't what we're doing here already therapy? Do you need more?
Need therapy in our therapy.
Yeah. I would
Oh,
like
dear.
more therapy for my therapy, please.
I can crunch more therapy into my therapy time. That'd be so much better.
Be more efficient.
Yeah. Oh dear. Anyway, learning a spell the wizard's way takes a while though. It's not a simple thing you can just do.
Pretty smart. I could pick it up.
Okay. Let me see if I don't imagine that you'll be sticking around for very long. So let me see if I can find something for you. And he goes out the back. You hear him rustling through some books. And comes out with a fairly thick tome. Plonks it down on the on the thing. If you read this book in its entirety, properly study it, then you will learn a spell.
Which one? The clean one or the feel-good one?
The clean one.
How big is the feel-good book?
I don't think we have one of those.
DM's like, not on my fucking watch.
No easy resolving trauma
No.
for you.
No, not the trauma spell. I wasn't going there.
That book's checked out for a while.
No.
For 6 sessions of an hour each.
Oh my goodness. I don't think that like a healing word or cure wounds or anything like that is something that we have a book for. It's kind of something else. But your bard teacher here might be able to do something for you, or the druid teacher.
Even if they give me like the start of it and the gist, and then I can just practice it, that'll be fine. I don't want to hold everybody up; it'll take too long. And did you get the book? The other book, the thin one with lots of pages.
Yeah. So he's put them on top of each other and he's pushed them to you.
Okay, so I take the thin one and shove it in an upper pocket somewhere, like wherever I can reach within reason that like won't completely crinkle it. And then I take the heavy book off the counter with a decent size and try and find a space to put it in my pack. Given how fucking full I am and the fact that I am like fuck all pounds away from being overburdened.
Oh yeah, this is gonna like. Yeah, you are any more things, and you would be. for sure.
You can
Did-
put that book in the bag if you would like.
Are any of
It's
you?
what I do.
Oh,
It's
Well,
why I
'cause
carry the bag.
I'm carrying all of these. Oh, like pulls the short swords out of my belt, and it's just purely so I can fling them at people. But I feel like there's got to be a more efficient way to do this. They're really heavy.
Do you need like a bag of slinging sword holding?
Well,
like if
I've
we-
got how many? Hang on, and like kind of holds all of the swords and daggers in a pile in my arms briefly, jangles them kind of slightly, and goes, I don't know, like quite a few pounds worth here.
I'm just imagining the like street side salesman where they like open up their coat and there's just the entire coat. Yeah, just swords. You know, buy some swords.
That's exactly what I'm going for with the guy in Hercules who like was like want to buy a sundial. Like
Yeah,
I'm
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah.
and it's especially because like the outside of me is covered in patches of useful things, and then the inside of these robes are just pockets and like things to slide things through, and like it's just they are the most useful robes on the planet.
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
Is your
extra
character a
bits in-
human bag of holding?
I mean, at the moment, kind of.
That would
It's
be
like-
pretty funny, actually. That's a good character idea. I like that.
Yeah, but I know what you
Sentient
actually
bag
mean,
of
and no,
holding.
you still haven't found the joke.
I'm gonna get it.
It would be really funny. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I love how in trying to guess the joke, I've come up with a number of things that other people have said. That's a cool idea.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
going to
Be
be
right back,
implemented
guys.
in
Writing
future.
Calcifer and writing all of these other cool character ideas.
I really do like the idea of a sentient bag of holding, though. That's great.
Yeah.
It's just had one too
And
many
the
item
only
put
spell
inside
that
of
they
it.
know is cure light trauma.
Make it happen, Skelly.
I feel like
You
this
are
party
God.
this party would simply disintegrate if none of you had any traumas. So no.
Yeah.
I
You're
think
so
Jun would become a lot more effective because his motivation isn't out of trauma, it's out of a sense of trying to put the world to rights. But he would add to that a sense of empathy for all the people the Black Sun God is taking, which he doesn't currently have. He doesn't care.
You're right. Anyway. Yes. You find a place for the book. Just a quick flip through the pages. You see that it is an incredibly detailed manual for all of the intricacies required for casting prestidigitation. Incredibly detailed from like the first few pages seem like they're a history of how it all works, and then there's just a lot of other details about it. You're not sure if you really need to read the whole book, but guess you'll find out.
Yeah, see, this is what we mean about nerds. There's no way this book needs to be this big. But Jun's gonna say that, like, off to the side later.
I think us maybe finding, I mean, another bag of holding, if we can get our hands on one, would be helpful.
Okay, let me check. Starts flipping through the thing
Please.
again, back the other way.
Or things similar to it, I guess, if that's a thing.
Yeah, we do have a number of things like that, I suppose. Flips through. B, bag of holding. Yes. No, those are all spoken for. Things like Goes
Even a
through.
bag of making things slightly lighter.
Yes. No, none of those. Looking through. You see him like pause for a moment, go, and then like quickly cast a spell over the book. Like he's reordering it. And you see like all the letters lift off of the page, glow a light blue, and then rejumble and go back onto the page. Like, okay, sorted by uses here. Okay, I've got infinite. What's the word I'm looking for here? Infinite arrows, infinite bolts, pens, books, quills, holding, bag of reagents. I don't imagine you guys have a lot of magical reagents you need to carry on to that's taking up a lot of space.
Just a few.
Just a few?
Nothing bag requiring.
Technically, my swords are a reagent, kind of, but I don't use them up.
Yeah, no, that's not quite what I mean. Ring of Swords. No, that's been taken. And you just see him like go through a list of items that he's sorted to basically be like things that that have limitless potential, like large things like bags of holding, things that produce infinite amounts of stuff like ink and pages and arrows and bolts. Until he starts getting to like items that summon things. So rings of swords, other summonable things, and reaches the end and goes, "No, I'm afraid I don't have anything that would really suit you for that, unfortunately."
I mean, being able to summon a bunch of swords, that would be handy.
Yes, but unfortunately that has already been taken as well.
Who took
do
it?
you...
Let me look. That's another spell. Words reorientate on the book. That'll be the headmistress has that one actually.
He's gonna look down at Avril and go, well, there you go. We can ask her. We can at least ask her about it, where she got it.
Okay. You weren't just planning to... Wait, never mind.
Yeah, he was totally planning to, but he, was pretending to be...
Yes.
So do you make your bags of holding in-house, or is there like a shop somewhere nearby that we could maybe get one from?
I mean, bags of holding aren't. They're not. What's the word I'm looking for? They're not easy. So, we do. Some people do make them in-house, as it were. But we do know some enchanters that have made them before, and we can order them from. This what I've got here is a list of ordered things that we have in stock or have recently acquired, and whether or not they are, designated for a particular purpose or staff member. And yes, the ring is accounted for. All of my bags of holding are accounted for. I don't know if they've been picked up yet or not, but I'm just not able to give them to you.
Fair enough. Who are the bags of holding assigned to, if I might ask?
Well, it looks like, Name custom on the spell. These ones are for. The librarian has misplaced her other one, so has requested another, and one has been acquired by the what's his name? I have to look at my own notes for this one. One has been requested by Orphic, not strictly a part of the faculty, but has important study.
Okay.
At that name, Nimi will go, "Oh, Orphic. He was he's the guy looking at the clock upstairs."
Oh, the Astro stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, and again, they're not cheap. They're not easy to acquire. So sorry
Yeah,
about
I can
that.
just carry them, start putting swords and daggers and shit back into belts, and like has not picked up on the nuance of the rest of that conversation.
But in saying that, let me quickly do another search here. Any custom spell. I have a bag of ammunition, which would, in theory, hold.
Daggers could be considered ammunition.
Yes,
surely.
that's what I'm pondering.
Like Ailey's
I don't
like,
have the.
going through all the things in her brain that she's like, that could count.
I don't
That
have
could
the.
count.
I don't have the. I don't have the list of things that it accepts. But if you want to take it to try it out, I could give it to you. There's not many people here who need to store ammunition for things. I'm not even sure why it was ordered.
Reaches into back pocket, pulls out deck of cards. These would be fun. Imagine the paper cuts.
I think that's a great idea.
How many?
Okay,
paper
let
cuts did I do?
me
Hang on. Let me see.
go and check.
No, Avril, I thought the bag was a good idea.
Oh.
The paper cuts we can sort out later.
And he returns with a small satchel, very similar looking to the bag of holding. It's maybe a little bit smaller, and is lined with special runes. Places it down on the counter. Opens it up. Puts his hand in. Very much like the bag of holding, has to reach down quite into it. Brings back up, goes, "Yep, that's empty." Well, you want to give it a try? Anyone?
John's gonna like
I
gently
figured
push.
Varys would. So I'm like,
Varys was leaving it for Avril.
John's gonna gently push Avril forward.
Daggers towards counter slightly. still really like so adept at talking to people with someone with such a high charisma score.
Yeah.
I will attempt to put the 3 daggers, but like one at a time, seeing if it like accepts. No, like I've never used a bag of holding, so I'm kind of tentative because I've seen you lot do it, but I don't know how it works.
Yep. So you, grab dagger, start to push it into the bag. You set your hand into it.
There's a hole straight out the other side.
Oh my God.
Rips a hole to the astral plane. We're all gone.
Destroys the entire. No. You you seemingly get it all the way in, and then you let go of it. Just to place it in the bag, and you hear a as it shoots past your hand and out of the bag and plonks onto the shelf.
Do any of us have to make a deck save? Jesus.
No, it doesn't like come out at an extreme speed. It's like it's
Right.
It's like there's like a membrane, a slime that has not been passed. So it comes out like something regurgitating a meal.
Oh god. I was imagining like I put it in, I finally get it there, and then it just goes ping straight the opposite way.
No, it appears that it was sensible enough design to not just shoot things out of it. Even though I guess as a bag of ammunition that would make sense.
That would be hilarious.
Instead, it just very slowly like plumps, like squidges out in the same orientation that it was put in there, and then just like falls onto the table.
Oh, I don't think that's gonna work.
No, I guess
Maybe
not.
you have to convince the bag that it's ammunition.
I could show it.
Sure, give it a go. Why not?
Picks up dagger, turns around shop looking for a thing to throw it at. That's not gonna
I was
get
like,
me in trouble.
just grabbed and thrown.
The keeper looks at you like look in there and go and puts his hands up like no, not this way.
I mean, I never would have aimed it at a people, but you know.
Nothing in my store, nothing in my shop, please.
Well, I would only be aiming for something that wouldn't break.
Throw it down the hallway, just not here, please.
Are there any students coming?
Yells out, "For!" and then flings the dagger down the hallway.
All right, roll me a d20.
Oh no.
Is this technically an attack roll?
It is technically an attack roll, yeah. I guess it would have +6.
Oh god. I can't remember if that's how you do it properly. Yeah, there we go.
Alright, you give it a hiff, throw
Yep.
it down the hallway. You hear a couple of squeals as it passes between a group of students that have just come out of a room.
I did say 4.
They like shoot back angry looks.
Jun
Oh.
shoots back an even angrier look. Like a, don't fuck with me.
I will
They
mage
quickly
hand
huddle off.
that dagger back to myself, please. And
Yeah,
then
yep.
attempt once more to gently be like, see? You throw them. It's kind of ammunition, it works through my spell. Like, tries to put it in the bag gently, like, try to talk to this bag as if it completely understands what I want.
Alright, roll a persuasion check.
You persuade the gazebo, that's what I'm hearing in my head. Hey!
Well,
This is how magic works. We bend the world with our will.
yeah. Yep. Well, you don't receive a response or anything from the bag. No. It sits there like a rock, seemingly mocking you with its silence.
An Ailey try.
Well, I don't know how much more you could help with that. To be honest.
Did Avril
good
put
roll.
the dagger back in the bag?
Do you now that you've persuaded it? Yes.
I was gently attempting to, yeah.
Okay, cool. So then yes, you perform the same action. Slowly insert the dagger, let go, and same outcome. Tink, back on the shelf.
I'm like starting to get flustered and embarrassed, and so I pick up the bag and I turn around. I'm like, Varys, I think this goes with your thing that goes bang. It doesn't like
Oh.
me.
Well, sure, okay. Varys will take it and then take out a bullet and just drop it into the bag.
Goes into the bag.
I'm sorry. I think it might be a bit picky about what counts as ammunition.
Or maybe it just
Bill
doesn't
scowls.
like me.
Ailey
I mean,
picks
I
up
was
arrow and tries to put it in the bag.
Like successfully accepts an arrow.
this is only gonna like Ray knows that this is stupid, but that it will cause Avril to truly solidly believe that no matter how convincing they are, the bag just fucking hates them.
Yep.
I'm gonna take out a card and try and gently put that into the bag.
Just a
If
single
it
card?
spits it out. Yep, just a single card.
It does not. It accepts the single
Alien.
card.
Avril takes out the rest of the pack and dumps it in the bag.
Alright.
okay.
Alright.
Ailey,
A deck of cards.
proceeds to try and shoot a dagger with her bow. So that it can be ammunition.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
Uh,
So you just like sorry.
Varys angles the bag of ammunition so that it can see this happening.
Sorry, I was imagining
watch
you were
this.
gonna try and shoot the dagger into the bag.
Eventually, she would actually.
Please do not shoot it at the bag. Just in front of the bag so the bag can see.
You're fine.
I don't know what's gonna happen if
Do I
you
have to
fire an
roll
object at it.
something? What
Yeah,
else is there?
roll a d20. I don't.
Dex, surely?
I mean, thing is, I would think
It's
it would.
about proficiency.
Yeah, I would think that it would be your.
Wait,
Oh, wow.
Doesn't matter what you add
Who
to that.
cares what we roll?
Yep.
That's bad.
Yeah, that's a natural one. You go to shoot it with your bow, but you've never used a dagger in a bow before. It's much heavier than an arrow, and when you let go of the string to try and loose the dagger, it falls out of your hand and plonks right into your foot. Can I get you to actually let me just do it, shall I?
Rolling a d4.
away whatever damage I've caused.
Yeah,
myself.
you have taken 6 points of damage from
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is great.
Is that like a
Like one
d4
of the
plus the
ninja
height that it fell
throwies.
from? Like,
That's plus Ailey's extra damage to the daggers. So.
Yeah, the dexterity is already on there. Ooh.
I mean, that one's been used. Give it a shot.
Ailey pulls the dagger out of her foot and then tries to put it in the bag.
I imagine Ailey's more of like a just like stuff it in there as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like try to jam it in there and let go, and it immediately pops right out, lands on the floor, and you like you quickly move your foot out of the way of it as it falls, and you dodge it a second time.
Well, I tried.
He did. That's all we can ask for.
You see that the bearded man is like leaning with his head like in his hands, like just to like see what you're all doing with this, and you see he's like mentally taking notes, like arrows, bullets, cards. Why are cards considered ammunition?
Does anyone have ninja stars?
I would show you why cards are ammunition, but then I will lose my spell and I'd have to have a sleep again, and I'm scared of you doing that, and then what if we bump into someone and then, you know...
Yeah,
I'm wondering if
that's
it's
fair.
not... I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's for spell things. Like, is it because it's like one of thing that can be loaded into another thing? But what can cards be loaded into?
My hands?
I guess.
A card shuffler.
A what?
Yeah.
Does that mean money works?
Do you want to give it a try?
Oh, Ailey's not putting her money in.
Oh my god. But imagine
kinda
the
dumb
in-universe
question is
money
that?
gun.
Money gun.
Varys takes out a piece of silver and puts it into the bag.
No. It puts it right back up.
It's a no.
Hmm.
No on money.
Money, not ammunition. Cards, ammunition.
Wait.
Pulls a torch out from one of the pockets, like way far up my back, so it looks like I'm doing something horrendous when I try and take it up.
Yep.
And then takes the unlit torch and thinks, you could, like, juggle them and then throw them at people, so maybe? And, like, tries to very gently introduce the torch to the bag.
It accepts the torch.
Oh, that's weird. I had a whole thing going, like maybe it's something that's part of like a larger group, like, you know, a bundle of arrows or a bunch of bullets or a deck of cards.
Ailey
That-
pulls
If
out
it
one of
is
her
bag.
Molotovs and tries to put it in the bag.
A Molotov?
Yeah.
Before we get too far, I'll take my items back so that I don't end up causing complicated character sheet shenanigans.
Yes, of course.
So, I'll take back the, like, how do you people do this? Put my hand in the bag and I think very hard about the cards. And I say, here, cards!
And even though you had dumped them with no regard into the bag, when you call for cards, you suddenly feel your hand grab onto a packed, shuffled deck of cards. Pull it out.
Oh, that's cool. Is that what you mean by a shuffling machine, Jun?
I mean, that's what it does.
Alright, you were going to say something, Thrakus, before this all went down?
So she, and hearing what Varys has said, is just sort of squinting at the bag, and then just pulls out a human tooth.
Oh god!
To drop it in.
Varys holds out the bag.
It accepts the human tooth.
She just sort of nods and then grabs the human tooth back, puts it away.
You could put teeth in a slingshot. That's totally ammunition.
But
Then why is not a dagger?
you could,
You don't slingshot
juggle-
daggers, you just stab people. That's obvious.
but you don't slingshot torches. You could juggle both. Like, it's obviously not, circus ammunition.
Maybe the person who magicked the bag had like a problem with daggers and they were scared and then the bag doesn't like them.
You
The
said you
dagger's
use...
magical?
Wait, did the Molotov work?
The Molotov works as well, yes.
Fuck's sake. I think the rule of the bag is that anything the DM doesn't want me to have. I'm kidding.
I mean, feel free to roll an insight on the bag.
Maybe it's just like
I'm
these
making
are
it real
daggers.
clear. I am not inciting the DM.
Yep.
I am inciting the bag.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe
Christ.
they have to be throwing daggers specifically, not just daggers.
So at this point, the clockwork will go. You said you use swords as well for your thing, right? Do you try just a regular sword then? If it is just that they've set a list of items that are allowed, maybe daggers are not on it.
Ether?
Pulls out a short sword and then hands it to Varys and says, you got better luck than I do.
I don't know that that's true, but okay. Paris takes a sword and tries to put it into the bag of ammunition.
Same push out, plunk on the floor. And the clock will go,
Everyone-
yeah, Thoricus has got a point. Why would teeth be on the list? Maybe it's not... That's interesting. Is it...
An exclusion list.
Yeah, a list of... But excluding a number of things would be more difficult than allowing a bunch of things. So...
Maybe it's not a bag of.
Avril releases a stream of hisses, which one of you will understand, but the others will not. And the clockwork now gets it.
Ailey does too.
Ailey does get that as well.
Picks up the sword and puts it back in my robes.
Yep, I can read what that is.
Exactly.
Maybe it was just programmed wrong. Maybe it's not even a bag of ammunition holding it all.
Bag
The storage...
Lord.
the man I'm now going to refer to as the storage wizard says, well, I mean, I guess we don't really test strictly. We asked for a bag of ammunition. That's what it was ordered. And we would have tested that it received arrows and bolts. That's what we would have... That's all we would have tested.
Who did you order it from?
There's an enchanter out in... there's an enchanter out in Claywalk.
For a quack.
Enchanter out in Claywalk. That it was ordered from. And he'll list off an address. I'm not going to make up street names here, so... Gives you the address of this enchanter. You notice that it is very close to where the potion incident happened.
Well, if we end up in that part of town, I want a word with that man.
Okay.
Maybe we can get the parameters or something.
It isn't my usual understanding of these things that they have sort of a list of... Not literally a list. An encyclopedia of enchantments that they're able to place on things. It's not necessarily rules that are set. Especially with items like this. It's quite, it's quite specific. You don't want to mess it up, so you usually just redo the same things over and over again. So he may not have been the inventor of this enchantment.
But then they'll know what goes in, though.
Perhaps. Again, he might have also only just tested that it accepts arrows and bolts and nothing else, Maybe he's got a rock that he tries putting in there and goes, okay, it's not a bag of holding.
I feel like rocks are fundamentally ammunition.
You got a rock to try it with? He's like really interested again.
One.
He is very interested in knowing about this as well.
We got the NPC fucking invested.
The
I mean,
practical uses and
yeah.
applications of magic are important.
Yeah. He is very interested because
we
he's
got a
storage
shiny
wizard.
rock. You'll get it back.
Ailey, you got a shiny rock?
I don't actually know if she's got any shiny rocks at the moment, other than the generic Ailey always has a shiny rock, but
You don't
officially
have
in
it-
inventory.
Yeah, I don't think you've officially got one, but I also imagine that Thoricus has also got a shiny rock.
I'm
This is
just
true.
gonna check. Well, I mean, I have human
What are
rocks.
teeth except for
Human.
used rocks?
Human
There you
rock.
go.
I feel like just an ordinary like stone rock thing.
I imagine that any of you could check your pockets and randomly have like picked up a small stone at some point.
I mean, I just pull out a crystal of spell storage, like, what? And then, no.
I feel like Thoricus would definitely have cool rocks. Just yeah.
Beetle carapaces. No, you guys don't get to see that.
I really want this to be in character, by the way, that you're like patting yourself down, like, no, you guys don't get to. Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
100%.
And then I'm pulling stuff out, and I'm just sort of I shake my pouch of spice, like, I come up with a handful of seabird feathers. Just like
Oh yeah,
I've got all
remember
these
telling
jars
story.
that I'm just like popping out of there.
I think she could do with a bag of holding too.
Yeah.
Actually, you have a bag of holding reagents. Surely, Thoricus, you could do with that. Most of those are reagents.
They're there for science. I'm not using these. And I just have my arms full, and I'm like huddling them close, like, get away from my stuff.
A bag of holding will hold them for you.
And do what with them?
Put them in
Besides, I have a
pocket
system,
dimension.
and I'm real carefully placing things back in a really specific way and padding things out with feathers.
Jun
I'm
shrugs.
glad to see that the feathers are finding use.
Oh man. Just like the cloak full of pockets version of a hoarder.
And I pull out a couple little bottles, and I'm like, hey, did you guys need this bug give? Because I got red and blue.
Is that blood goo? Is that the stuff that we can use to make potions?
Yeah, it was from
Or
that
that's
weird
something
baby place.
Yeah, we do have alchemist supplies, so we can probably use those at some point to
Yeah.
make ourselves a potion.
Yeah.
Yep.
This
Yeah,
might be
Yeah,
a
I
bit.
got lots of
wanders
stuff,
out.
but no rocks.
Jun wanders outside, grabs a random stone that's come loose, walks back in while Thoricus is doing this.
Like, I do have just a regular crystal, which is like the stock standard arcane spell focus.
Yeah, so does Jun, but he doesn't think that that's quite gonna prove what the
Yeah.
version of the point he has in his head.
Yep.
Okay. So, you take the stone. You put
Put
it in.
stone in the bag.
Yeah, put it in the bag. I imagine Jun is also another one who is careful about placing it in there. And
He's slightly miffed at the bag shenanigans at this point, so
Okay.
he's probably not as gentle as he would normally be.
okay,
But he's not like rough about it either.
all right. You
He's
stuff it in.
Assertive.
You stuff it in. You let go. You're expecting a like a clunk or something, and it's accepted.
Well, that makes sense.
All right. Well, I guess he doesn't test with a stone then.
Does he test it at all?
I don't know. That is not here in my notes, unfortunately. I would hope that he does if he's going to be selling this merchandise. We tested, of course, for, again, for arrows and bolts. But that's it. If it
Could be.
Your definition of ammunition is unimaginative.
So what you're saying is we're like way cleverer than you, and you work at a school.
like, there's another hearty laugh. What I'm saying is we don't really have time to test every magical item that we get in here for purposes other than what they're meant for. And this was meant for
We don't have a
ammunition.
whole lot of time. What are you talking about?
What if the person you ordered it for wanted to use it for daggers because they use the daggers as ammunition?
Yeah, like me. Not that you ordered it for me, but
Then they
that's
probably
besides the point.
then they probably should have ordered a bag of holding.
Can we?
Speaking of, who did order it?
You
I'm
mentioned
curious
the-
now.
So
Cast
the
the spell.
librarian is one of the people, right? You said that she misplaced hers, so she ordered another one?
Yes, that is what it's listed here as. It's this is a form that they fill out that comes here, and but that she lost her previous one and ordered another one. I don't know exactly the reason. I haven't got that written down.
Well,
So somewhere is a bag of holding with a bunch of powerful librarian stuff lying around. That seems like it's not cool.
They're very
Actually,
much-
that seems very cool.
in that vein, I was gonna say, like, if we could maybe track down that bag for her, then she wouldn't have needed the other one, and we could maybe take it.
that is very
And
true.
she might be happy to have some things back.
Yeah.
What I imagine is the case here, because our librarian is also magically inclined, she's probably already cast Locate Object to try and find the bag. And it is either in an inaccessible place, or it is, no longer available, no longer in existence. Spells, can kind of make things happen. And some people, even though they're very well warned when we're giving them bag of holdings, do try to put bags of holding inside of other bags of holding. And
Why would you?
well,
why would
everyone
you do
wants
that?
more space.
Infinite
Like you
bags of
guys.
holding.
Yeah, see that exact sentiment. But we always warn them: if you do that, they will explode and you will lose everything that's inside.
Good to know.
Mhm.
So definitely don't put that bag of ammunition inside of the bag of holding. I'm not sure if they work the same, but I think just in
It's
case.
not my scientific curiosity is sated with not trying to do that. I feel
Good.
like that would be bad.
I appreciate it. I certainly don't want you guys coming back and trying to get more bags of ammunition from me, because this, as much as this has been entertaining, I don't need to be answering questions about the supplies that I order from other people.
Well, I mean, if she hasn't been able to find it and maybe it's not destroyed, maybe it's something that we could help with.
Be my guest.
And that Ring of Swords was with the headmistress, you said?
Yes, it does look like she has picked it up.
Okay. Good to know.
So, unless anyone has any further things they want to try putting in the bag of ammunition. Anyone? Any calls?
I mean, I'm curious. I want to try a feather.
Okay. Just a single feather?
Yeah, what are my feathers?
Okay. It accepts the feather.
Everyone's gonna turn around and sulk.
Weird and strange.
And then I take out Fanny Boo and I'm just staring at her.
I don't think so. But
I'm
Vera
just
sounds
staring,
very questioning.
and I just reach out and I try it. Because no one stopped me.
Okay, so Fanny Boo is quite a bit larger than the lip of this bag, right?
Yeah,
Now, normally,
so I'm trying to just
yeah. So normally,
push her in.
normally with the bag of holding, when you try to put something in that's larger than the lip of it, it'll start to like stretch, like magically stretch and open up. This bag does not. It does not stretch and open up for things that are going into it. So you're trying to stuff it in there, and
Yeah, I'm just trying to wiggle her in.
trying to wiggle it in and really stuff it, and then once like there's a little bit of give there to your pushing, it starts pushing itself back out. It's not accepting Fanny Boo.
Okay. I'm gonna pop it back away.
All right. Nobody else? Okay.
No, I'm done with this. What's
I'm very tired. And
That's perfectly fine.
A lot of pain.
With that, I think we can finish up for tonight. I love magical items. Anyway, Thanks everybody for joining us. This has been fun. Let's see what happens next time when these freaks undoubtedly accost the librarian and the headmaster for their bags of holding and strings of swords. Make sure you're here for that. Thanks everybody. See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.